Hey everyone, it's Justin. Thank you for joining us on this episode of the Voices for Voices TV show and podcast. We're grateful wherever you're joining us from, whether you're watching, whether you're listening, no matter where you're at in the world, North America, South America, Africa, Europe, Asia, Oceania, Antarctica, Greenland. Uh, we really do appreciate you joining us on this particular episode of the show. This particular episode is one of these very difficult shows to talk about because we're going to be talking about mental health, clearly, and two kind of separate events that have occurred kind of in the last, I guess, week to 2 weeks. We've had a pretty full schedule uh, across the board with our shows and with TikTok lives and PR announcements, and it's a lots going on. And the one event, the one topic happened prior uh, with uh, the second event happening a much closer in time. So we're gonna start again. This is, we're talking about mental health. We're talking about, unfortunately here, two individuals that were very uh, um, I'm not going to describe their sense of mind and where they were at. Uh, but just recently, within the day, I believe, from when we're filming this particular show, according to the news outlet TMZ, James Ransone has passed away at the age of 46. He is known for uh, projects such as The Wire, It Chapter 2, and he passed away. Uh, his his cause of death was suicide. Uh, he took his own life, and uh, it's not not something that's it's not something that's easy to talk about because, right, we have these resources and say, hey, we got this number, it's 988. And if you or somebody you know is experiencing a mental health crisis, you can call, you can text, you can log on and chat with individuals to kind of help through the process of what's happening, and not sure the state of mind. We're not going to assume what somebody was feeling, but James Ransone is an actor and is known for, again, this is according to the news outlet TMZ. He passed away on Friday, and the medical examiner's website lists the manner of death as uh, suicide by hanging, and it's just very sad, very sad that this occurred. He's also had small roles on Third Watch and the TV show Ed, and so we want to again, as we're sharing this information because it's important to know that we hear sometimes about, oh, mental health, oh, big deal. Well, it is a big deal because we all have mental health, and we don't know what somebody was thinking, what exactly occurred in their lives in the moments leading up to to that ultimate choice, that ultimate decision. So we want to keep James Ransone and his family, loved ones, everybody that they know, but now we're sharing it also about mental health and how important it really is. Um, hmm. So it's tough. It's tough to, and I know with, social media and computers and, we hear a lot more about these events in a much sooner time frame than we had in the past. So I'm not going to go out and say, oh, these events never happen, in the past 30, 40, 50, 60 years. I don't know. Maybe they have, but as far as the rate, like how often, all I know is this is why we do what we do. We share about mental health, we share about stories and events from me, from other guests, and how important mental health is. And that's why Voices for Voices was started, and we've done plenty of shows to talk about that. So we're not gonna rehash that. We just have to do whatever we can to help. I mean, I don't know. I don't know if he was being seen. I don't know that story. Uh, all I know is, this awful headline. And then there is kind of the shock and awe that happened with Rob Reiner and his wives, Michelle Reiner, singers, uh, that they were tragically taken from the world by allegedly it was their son, uh, Nick, Nick Reiner, that took their lives. And so there's some more information. So this is off of reporting by TMZ and page6.com, uh, under the celebrity news area. We got a little more information about Rob and Michelle. So it appears, based off the reporting, that Conan O'Brien, a lot of people know his name, had a party, had a holiday party last weekend. So not this weekend, but the weekend prior. And I guess let's back up a little bit. There were multiple media outlets and reports and interviews in the past years, and one of them was the father Rob Reiner and son Nick, and they were being interviewed, and oh, here we go. So the video started playing. So sorry for that. Uh, so in this interview, Rob and son Nick are just talking a little bit about mental health and some of the feelings that he has had at times. And so, Rob and Michele, parents, knew that there was some kind of mental health, mental illness, uh, diagnoses, and they were doing everything they could from the reports to help their son Nick. Uh, so fast forward to this party at Conan O'Brien's, for his holiday party. Uh, Nick, the son of Rob and Michelle, they were they got in some kind of a heated argument, and so much so to at least one of the guests was thinking about calling 911 to see if they could get some help. Yeah, he was acting erratic, asking people if they were famous. Nick, the son, was apparently. And so there was this big argument with mom and dad and Nick, and Conan said, "Hey, this is my party. We're not going to call 911. We'll take care of this." And so yeah, Conan drops in and says, "Hey, telling guests, stop, don't call 911." And so that all occurred. Quote, Conan said, quote, but Conan stepped in and said, "It's my house, my party. I'm not calling the police." End quote. And so he talked those individuals out of calling the police. Unfortunately, not not too many hours later, Nick's parents, Rob and Michelle Singer Reiner, were found deceased at their Brentwood home in Los Angeles. And what is even more troubling is I'm trying to go through this article here and get us everything we can. So during this party, Rob, the father, again, this is reportedly through TMZ and page6.com. Rob allegedly reported to some friends at that party that he, Rob, was petrified that his son Nick could hurt him. And I guess what it looks like to be in quotes, quote, I'm petrified of Nick. I can't believe I'm going to say this, but I'm afraid of my son. I think my own son can hurt me, end quote. This unnamed celeb alleged that Rob said. So again, it's verbal spat, and then just hours later, hours later, Rob and Michelle's daughter and Nick's sister, Romy, found the couple's slain bodies. They were found with stab wounds to their throats, along with other wounds found throughout their bodies. Rob was age 78 and Michelle was age 70. And so it's hard to talk about these these actions that they're through the rumor mill. And again, it was through the rumor mill and through the interview that I had watched. I'm not sure where it was and what span of time it was, if it was like within the last year or several years. But mental health was definitely in the play here. Remember, we all have mental health. And so from the outlets that we're finding, and again, we're no experts on any of this. We're just sharing information. Because sometimes we get information, feedback of what's the big deal about mental health and just unkind words. And and so this is why we're talking about mental health and mental illness is because these things unfortunately have continued. First with the actor just the other day taking his life by suicide and then with if we believe the reports that are out there that Nick was the one, well, we know something. We know that Rob and Michelle Reiner were tragically taken from this world. So we know that uh, because they're no longer with us, unfortunately. So it is. It's important that we talk about this. Again, this is one of these topics that people don't like when we talk about and we share information. But it's actual events. It's actual events, things that have happened. So that's why we bring these up. That's why we talk about them. We don't like talking about these these events, but we'd be doing a horrible disservice if we weren't talking about them in what reports look to be related to mental health and mental illness, potentially. So that's why we're talking about that. We all know my background. We all know where all that is. And so I find it even extra important that we talk about and we share this information. We do. We do have this 988 hotline that's available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. I'm not sure what set events and emotion. What I know is the world has three less people on on the planet right now. And so that's why we're talking about this. It's it's very hard. It's hard to talk about anybody that loses their life prematurely. Sounds like Rob and Michelle, they were trying their best, trying to do as much as they could for their son Nick. Do I know that as a fact? No. Based off of the reporting that I've seen and heard, which I quoted, page 6 on TMZ. Some might call them gossip sources. Well, that's where I got the information from. And the same thing about the other gentleman. And so we just hope and pray for the day and the days where we don't have to report on these kinds of news stories and tragic events, regardless if it's in Hollywood or if people have humongous mansions or whether they don't. A human life is a human life. And it doesn't just affect the individual, it affects family members, it affects friends, colleagues, maybe fellow students, fellow teammates. That's the part with any of these types of events that occur is it's not just one individual that's affected or impacted. It's a whole host of people that are impacted. And that's why I think it's all the more relevant when we talk on our shows and our interviews, media appearances, when we say that we really enjoy, we really love what we do because we do. I'm not saying that any of these individuals didn't like and don't like what they were doing, didn't like what they were doing. All I'm trying to say is if you like what you're doing, yeah, there's going to be obstacles, there's going to be hoops to jump through. There's going to be all kinds of things that we're going to have to do to carry out our mission. And with us, it's helping people. And so that's that my little light of mine. The my little light of mine. I'm gonna make it shine, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. That's all the more reason, all the more definition on why we do what we do with Voices for Voices, why myself, Justin Allen Hayes, why I founded this organization, why we have media, books, and other forms coming to help people. So if we can help one person to not have to go through it, to not feel like they're at the brink, maybe we can start reporting on, hey, that whether people want to be named or not, we have reporting that 10 people this weekend were at the brink and found some way, some manner not to go forward. And that's a good thing. Those are all good things when those happen. So that's why we do it. We really do thank each and every one of you for joining us. A little bit of a difficult show, this particular episode. But again, we'd be doing a huge disservice if we weren't sharing and talking about and bringing events from the darkness into the light. Thank you for joining us, no matter where you're at. If you could subscribe, hit that subscribe button. If you could share this Voices for Voices TV show and podcast. If you can follow us, check out one of our TikTok lives that we do periodically. Follow on all social media platforms. Subscribe and follow our show. Again, we're over 390 episodes that we have in our portfolio. It's pretty incredible, pretty remarkable. And this is a reason why we keep going because there's still people to help. There's still people that can benefit by our stories, by our events, by things that we've been through or are going through. So thank you. We'll see you on the next episode of the Voices for Voices TV show and podcast. Until then, please be a voice for you or somebody in need. We'll see you next time, everybody. Have a good day.